All right, welcome back, everybody. We're talking about some more RV sales process, and today we got a great stream for you. We're talking about not demoing an RV before you have the information needed to actually do a good demo. Time and time again, you'll go into a dealership, and this happens in RV dealerships, this happens in car dealerships, this happens in motorcycle, boat dealerships. It doesn't matter what dealership you're talking about. This this trait can be found in a lot of dealership salespeople. And I think the reason behind it is because it's not always easy to control our customers. It's not always easy to get them to sit in our office and to share with us what they're looking for or what issues they are having. It's not always easy for us as a salesperson to ask our potential customer or client the needed questions so that we have all the information to provide them with a good service or a good product. And what I mean by that is if you're a potential customer and client, you should want your salespeople to have the information that they need to know so that they can show you an RV or a product or a service that actually meets your needs specifically. But a lot of the time, what happens in an RV dealership or in a dealership setting is we have customers that are used to, high pressure sales, used car salesmen or, slimy salespeople. And what happens is they get very defensive when they are in a dealership setting. Now, it doesn't matter if they're buying cars, it doesn't matter if they're buying boats, RVs, motorcycles. It doesn't matter because of the way dealership sales have kind of went over the years. People still have a bad taste in their mouth. Now, some of them might not, pending if they've been to a good dealership and they met a good salesperson who was able to connect, meet their needs, and give them a product that actually fits what they're looking for. Those customers are probably coming back to the dealership time and time again when they need a new RV, and they're sharing that information with their family, friends, and giving referrals to your business. So when it's done right as an RV salesperson, we can get a lot of benefit down the road because we took the time to do a good interview and qualify, to demo on the right RV instead of any RV, and we were able to add value to customers' life. But the problem you're going to have if you don't interview and qualify before your demo is you're going to have customers that are buying or looking at products that don't actually fit their needs 100%. And the reason they don't fit their needs 100% is because you weren't able to pull out their emotions, their needs, their wants. You weren't able to ask the questions needed so that you could get the information so that you could close that RV sale. So if you're unable to get the information and you take them straight out to an RV, you take them straight out to a product to demo that unit, they're never going to buy it, right? They're not going to care about it because it doesn't connect with them. You don't have enough information to connect with your customer. So why are we showing them an RV? Why are we taking them to a product? Why are we wasting our time, their time, and the dealership's time? Remember the formula to meet and exceed our sales goals: talk to more customers, increase our closing percentage, decrease our time per deal, and we cannot do that if we are showing the wrong RVs. So you have to understand the interview qualify, the beginning of the sales process has to come before the demo. There are no corners that can be cut in the beginning of the sales process. There are no shortcuts to learning our customers, emotions, intentions, problems that they might need solved. There's no shortcut to these things, right? So, we have to make sure we're doing that in the beginning of the sales process before we take them on a demo, before we take them out to the lot, before they start to wander in and out of new RVs and fifth wheels and travel trailers and motorhomes. I mean, that is a good formula to never sell an RV. Go from a travel trailer to a fifth wheel to a motorhome, you're probably not selling an RV. And do you want to know why? Because it shows me that you clearly don't know what the customer needs. They don't need a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, and a motorhome. People need one of them, right? So, if you're showing them everything on the lot, you're never going to close a deal, right? And there's probably RV salespeople or dealership salespeople that are watching this right now, or who are not watching this right now, who are spinning their wheels, spinning their tires at their dealership because they are demoing products before they interview and qualify. Now, this isn't hard to do, though, because what you have to understand is customers have the internet. They can go to your website. They can see your inventory before they get there. So if they see an RV that they think might meet their needs, they might just come straight to your dealership and say, hey, we want to go see XYZ dealership. Where's it at? Let's go out to the lot. Right? So now when a customer says, hey, we want to see XYZ dealership, let's go out to the lot, an inexperienced RV salesperson is going to say, okay, let's go. Let me get my price sheet, or let me grab my jacket, or, let's just go right out. I know exactly where it is, or whatever the case might be. But the truth is, even when your customer thinks that they know what RV they're looking at, we should still be interviewing them. We should still be qualifying them. We should still be getting that information we need so that we can provide the proper demo. Because if they don't understand what they're looking for in RVs, which happens a good amount of the time, right? Maybe we have a new customer who's never went RVing before. They've never pulled an RV. They've never stayed in an RV. They don't know what they do, but yet they show up at your RV and say, hey, we want to look at this one. Well, it's probably not the right RV because they just don't understand RVs. They don't understand how they work. They don't understand how to use them. They don't understand that, hey, if we're going to be doing X, Y, and Z, then we need these features in an RV and vice versa. So you just have to understand what your customers' needs, wants, and desires are. And the time that we learn that is in the interview and qualify. So we can't be demoing products to customers without learning their true needs or wants. We can't be demoing products to customers without running them through an interview and qualify. We can't be demoing RVs and showing them the very first RV they asked for, or taking them straight out to the lot to look at whatever they want, or taking them straight out to the lot so they could walk in and out of unit to unit to unit. Because it's just not going to work. And again, the formula to close more sales, to meet and exceed our sales goals, is talk with more customers, increase our closing percentage, decrease our time per deal. So you're going to hear me say that time and time again, because what you need to understand is that without the activity that's needed to meet and exceed your sales goals, you'll never get there, right? Math is math. If you have high sales goals, if you want to be a top performer and make over six figures in RV sales, then you have to be willing to put in the effort. You have to be willing to put in the amount of activity needed to close the deal. And if you are spending more time than needed in a deal, if you are showing customers products and services before you interview and qualify them, then you're wasting time. When you're wasting time, you're decreasing your closing percentage, you're increasing your time spent per deal, and that is the reversal of what we need to do to meet and exceed our sales goals. So it's very important that when we get these customers in our dealerships, giving us phone calls, putting in their internet leads, whatever the case might be, that we're not jumping the gun when it comes to the interview and qualify, that we're making sure we slow down that sales process. We explain what we're going to be doing. We set our intentions early. We explain the process they're going to go through. And that way their defenses are lowered. They're ready to go through an interview and qualify. That way, when we demo a product, when we demo an RV, it is the right RV for them. And when we show people the right RV the first time, it's a lot easier to close the deal. Each RV we show after the first one, in my opinion, lowers our chances of closing a deal because now it's giving our customer more options. And humans don't do better with more options. Believe it or not, you as a human don't want more options. You actually probably want less options. I mean, let's think about it. Husband, wife comes home and says, "Hey, honey, what are we eating for dinner?" Pretty easy question, right? But a lot of the time, when someone asks us what we want for dinner, we'll answer their question with a question. We'll say, "Hey, I don't know. What do you want for dinner?" Right? So now we're playing this game of what do you want for dinner? 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 Back and forth. And the reason is because we have too many options. When you ask me, what do I want for dinner? I can choose anything in the world. I can choose tacos. I can choose candy. I can choose cereal, breakfast, steaks. I can choose literally anything I want because you left it so open. But if I say, "Hey, honey, do you want tacos or hamburgers for dinner?" I'm likely going to get an answer. They're going to say, "Oh, you know what? Tacos sounds good." So now we're going to have some tacos, right? But I made it easy on my spouse to make a decision because I only gave them two routes, two options. I didn't give them a million options. When you give them a million options, it turns into, "I don't know what I want. What do you want?" Right? And the same thing in RVs. When we give too many options, it confuses our customer and makes them want units that don't exist. All of a sudden, you'll hear them say, "Hey, I wish that, the last RV that we saw had, this couch in it. And I wish, this RV had the last RV's entertainment stand. And then I wish this one had the outdoor kitchen like the third one that we went to." And when you have that problem, when you start hearing things like that from our RV customer, what you can, get from that as an RV salesperson is we showed them too many RVs. We confused them. We didn't understand what their needs, wants, and desires are. And because we didn't understand their needs, wants, and desires, we just showed them the wrong RV, and now we're wasting our time. Okay, again, we cannot waste precious time if we want to be top performers because that goes against our formula. To be a top performer, increase the amount of customers we talk to, increase our closing percentage, decrease our time spent per deal. When we're spinning our tires, when we're talking to customers longer than we need to, when we're showing them more RVs than we need to, we are increasing our time per deal, and we're not going to be able to close anyone. We're not going to be able to have the activity needed to reach and exceed our sales goals. So you have to understand that you cannot be demoing products and services and RVs before we walk our customer through a good interview and qualify. Excuse me. Now, a good interview and qualify, we've talked about it in many videos, so I'm not going to go in depth here in this video. But the way to interview and qualify our customers is we need to be asking who, what, when, where, why, and how questions and digging past surface level so that we can get to the true root of their emotions, their problems, and their issues so that we can provide an RV that meets those needs specifically. And if we're not asking questions, if we're not digging deep, if we're not going past surface level with our customers, then we're probably not doing a good enough interview and qualify to get the deal closed. Okay, so you have to slow down. And if you want to, look back on some videos that we've done or that I've done that we talk about interview and qualifying or digging past surface level, then make sure you go over to my LinkedIn, send me a connection request. Those videos are on there. You can also like us on YouTube, Infinite Media Resources, or I'm sorry, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Infinite Media Resources, and you can have access to those live streams and those videos. But the truth is, is we have to focus down on our interview and qualify. If we're not focusing down on that, the rest of the sales process is not going to matter. It's going to be hard to close a deal. It's going to be hard to show the right RV. It's going to be hard to get to the numbers, and we're not going to close a unit. Okay, so we have to understand that. And if you're an RV salesperson out there, go get you this book, Sell More, Live More Sales Training. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Barnes and Noble. It's only, I think, $13 or something like that. So it's not too expensive. And you can get a solid sales process right from this book, and it'll help you close some deals. It's exactly what we're talking about here. If you're an RV dealership or business that needs more customer leads for their sales team, or maybe you need more training for your sales team, give me a call directly, 330-703-3930. Again, 330-703-3930. Give me a call. I'd love to help get more customers to your dealership. I'd love to help your sales team with some RV sales training. And I'd love to help you guys and girls close more deals at your dealerships. That way, customers can be happier, our dealerships can be happier, our families can be set up and can be happier, right? Be making more money, can do more things, can travel together. So all of that comes into closing more deals and selling more units. That's why it's the Sell More, Live More sales training, because when you sell more, you can actually live more, right? So again, if you want to get better sales training, you can also get the virtual sales training online, sellmorelivemore.net. You can sign up for our virtual sales training, over 50 plus videos of RV sales process and just sales process in general, so you can get that sales process dialed in. But you need to make sure while you're out there, you're not demoing products before the interview and qualify, because if you do, then you're going to be going backwards. So again, thank you for joining me here with this RV sales process. We're going to be talking about RV sales process all year long. Also, again, if you want more customers at your dealership, give me a call. If you want to hop in a role play, whether it be RV sales, logistics, B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter. Whatever sales you're in, if you want to jump in a role play with me, I'd love to help you practice the deal in a role play. So feel free to message me on LinkedIn. Give me a call directly, 330-703-3930, and let's get that role play locked in. That way you can get better at the deal. All right. So again, thank you for joining me here at our RV sales process. If you haven't connected with me on LinkedIn, go do that. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel or given us a like on Facebook, go do that. Infinite Media Resources. That way you can get access to all of the information we're putting out there. And again, appreciate you for being here. I'll see you on the next one.